You are now tuned in to Go Time Dolphins with Charlie Touche and Kadeem Simmons, the Miami Dolphins podcast that's for the fans and by the fans.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. Go. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Go. Don't waste no time.
He picks us to win. I was looking NFL's 10 for 10 Dolphins to win. I'm like, oh man. Not that I feel shaky because we should walk through these guys.
Yeah.
But I don't like when everybody picks us to win. You know what I'm saying? As a Dolphin fan, we have this
bro, but it's the Jets, bro.
I know.
Like,
and
this is what, listen, shout out to LB. It's so funny how LB has this thing about the Dolphins. Like, he don't want nobody to talk about us. And then when no one's talking about us, he'll say, how come ain't nobody talking about us?
I feel it. It's the Dolphins. It's the curse of being a fan for a life. You just you want to be in their face so they hate us, but you don't want them to like us. You definitely don't want them jumping on the bandwagon. Nah, don't try to get on it now. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, check it out. It's Fins Up Friday. It's Go Time Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins podcast that goes not only across the pond, but across the world. I'm Charlie Touche. I got Chris Adams with me. It's always for the fans and by the fans. Kadeem always talking about he don't miss no games and he never missed an episode. And the only episode he missed was my fault. Well, how about that, Kadeem? You missed this one. Now I'm playing. Look, man, Kadeem was under the weather. He was kind of sick, tested negative for COVID. Shout out to Jordan Simmons. You know, she's the voice of the podcast and she's going through COVID. So shout out to her. Prayers up to her. But it's crazy. Like, me and Kadeem can't stay healthy at the same time. I feel like we're doing our best Devonta Parker and Will Fuller impersonation right now on the podcast. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? So
all hemmed up, busted up finger or something.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's wild, man. So we just trying to give you guys the best product, and it's unfortunate. Hey, check out my t-shirt.
I see it.
Fitz Magic in the building.
That's a great beard on that shirt too.
Listen, shout out to Ryan Fitzpatrick, out for the season. Gotta be gut wrenching to never had made the playoffs yet. And
I thought you said gut rich because he made some money on this season. That's for sure. Didn't they pay him like 10 mil or something like that?
This is my thing, man. He's never made the playoffs, and I felt like this was a chance for him. And now they still might make it without him. And I kind of feel for dude. Now he's going through a hip surgery. You know what I'm saying? So I know he already knows who to call about recovery. So he shared a locker room with Tua for a season. He could holler at Tua. But man, so I just wanted to get that out there. Shout out to Fitzpatrick. But yeah, man, it's Fins Up Friday. Y'all know what time it is. Me and Chris Adams, Fins Tailgate podcast. Check it out. Fins Tailgate, right?
Yeah, the Fins Tailgate.
The Fins Tailgate podcast. Y'all follow them, check them out, share, like, subscribe. While you do that, share, like, and subscribe to us as well. We talking Jets preview, man. What we gonna do about this Jet game, bro?
Man, I got some good little tidbits that I picked up, and I made sure to bring a little bit of something. You want to hear a little bit of things I got written down?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right. So Tua, over the last 4 wins, he's got over 100 on his QBR rating. So against this Jets defense, it's gonna work good because they're dead last in yards per attempt and dead last in QBR rating, giving up an average of 108 QBR. So they've been struggling. They gave up big points and decent. They give up pretty much what they give up. They give up 3.8 yards per play on defense, which is dead last. And they gave it up to Taysom Hill. Now I know Chris Sims loves Taysom Hill, but we all know Chris Sims he's obviously mad at Tua. You know, I heard this stat on a different podcast. Chris Sims, his 5-year season total yards is just over 3,100 yards. And this guy's got all this bad stuff to say about Tua. So it's obviously jealousy is what it is. So we won't let him poke fun at us. But also real quick, Tua, you know, in the last game against the Jets, he had almost 280 yards, 2 touchdowns. His QBR was 108, you know, same there. So I expect us to exploit the pass game. especially with these running backs down.
You talking about the same Chris Sims, scatter the west right tight, F
Yes.
left, 372, Y
that?
stick, Z spot. You talking about that one? Like, bro, like, come on, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm on a podcast, dog. Like, I've only heard it so many times, and you can regurgitate it. You feel me?
It's
like,
so funny, man.
Chris Sims.
He's you know, I get it. It's clickbait. We got it. We get it. And then he comes back the next day because people got him hate on Twitter. He's like, you're idiots. You're idiots. We got it, Chris Sims. You know that you can rile up the Dolphins fans, especially the Tua fans, because diehard Dolphin fans don't mean you're a diehard Tua fan. Now you support Tua because you're a Dolphins fan, hopefully. But there's people that only love Tua and they want to, it's that that Tim Tebow kind of thing. So
how you feel about Skip Bayless coming around on Tua?
Honestly, I don't know what he ever had against him. And to Skip's credit, because he's easy to dislike because he kind of has that pace in which he talks that sounds so condescending. You're like, all right, bro, you don't have to talk slow to me. I'm not an idiot. It kind of irritates you. But he's never really come out against Tua. He's given very valid points. Tua is a smaller quarterback that has been injury prone. But as most of them have seen, he can throw that deep ball because that Mac Hollins throw, he stepped in and heaved that bad boy, as you saw. I'm sure you guys were going off on that.
Tell me out, bro. Trevor Lawrence is having the most terrible rookie season ever. Threw 4 picks the other game. It's terrible. How come we're not hearing more about Trevor Lawrence the way we heard about Tua Tua didn't really have a bad season either. Like, it wasn't like he had a poor season like Trevor Lawrence is having. Why do you think, not even why, but how come you don't think we're hearing about Trevor Lawrence? Ain't nobody coming at Trevor Lawrence don't.
And it racks my brain. I've talked about it on my show. I've talked about it with other people in passing that are just fans on other shows. We don't know. We wonder, is it the wholesome Christian kid thing? You know, that's the only thing.
Trevor Lawrence is Christian though.
I know, but not like how Tua is. We all know Tua kind of sits with his faith number one, crosses on his eyes.
I can't go for that because Trevor Lawrence. All right, yeah, with the war paint, I feel you.
But so what else could it be?
Trevor, I'm gonna get there. Here's the thing. I think there's a lot of similarities when you're talking about lifestyle with Trevor Lawrence and Tua. My thing is, I think it's the Alabama thing.
Really?
I think it's the Alabama. Nah, bro, we don't like Alabama, and there's always no Alabama quarterback is successful. Who was the last successful Alabama quarterback? So I think they try to go with that narrative. And now you got Mac Jones, although Mac Jones went to the Patriots and it's a hold your hand system. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a system over there. So Mac Jones may be successful and it is what it is. But now you're going to have Tua and Mac Jones being successful.
But it's only against one Alabama quarterback ever. Even that kind of theory. And I agree, there is Alabama hate. But if you're an NFL fan, you're hoping you draft an Alabama player because when you do, you like them. You know, Najee Harris is liked. I mean, Derrick Henry. I mean, these are not Alabama players. They all are good, you know, usually, especially when you get them in the first and second round. These guys are great. They're cranking them out. So I don't know if that's it either. I really, like I said, I can only go to that deduction where it's because that's the only thing I could think of, man, because it's obviously, I don't know. I couldn't imagine it just being Alabama because then everyone hates Alabama, but only that one Alabama quarterback. I don't know, man.
No. Because I think it is coupled with him being a Christian and Alabama.
I think it's more about him proud on his faith. I think they go after it because they know he's not faithfully not gonna attack back. He ain't gonna fight back. It's easy to punch someone that don't fight back.
So talking about another Alabama player real quick, we're gonna get off a little bit off track. Amari Cooper is not going to be with the Cowboys next year. I don't think. I really don't think Amari Cooper is going to be with the Cowboys. And after the 2022 season, I don't think Zeke is going to be with the Cowboys either because I think they might trade. I think they might pay Pollard and let Zeke walk after 2022. But the reason I'm bringing this up, unless Zeke takes a mean pay cut, which I don't know, you might cut him and then bring him back. But look, listen, how you feel about Amari Cooper after this season coming to the Dolphins? Would you be interested? Do you think he's a one? Do you know what I'm saying?
I guess it would all have to depend on price. Because personally, I'd rather keep everyone we got and invest and prove to guys that we're drafting that if you do what needs to be done as a Dolphin, we will invest in you. But if we're gonna buy someone and it's not a left tackle or a right tackle, which I think that's what we should go shop for, maybe a center. I'd rather draft a center. But I would say I'd rather have the wide receiver than the running back, man. We know how running backs work. And don't get me wrong, Guseki Elliott would be fun, but not. I mean, listen,
Zeke's a couple years down the line. I'm just talking about
is.
Amari Cooper right now. Like,
I would pay
Amari
him,
Cooper is going to be available next year.
Are we talking a $60 million 4-year
No.
contract?
I mean,
we're talking $18 million a year.
He gets paid. He gets 20 right now. That's
I know,
crazy.
but that's what I'm saying.
But here's the thing: he gets 20 right now, and he already got he already got paid. So he's not gonna come over here talking about, hey, I need 18. Nah, that ship left.
And no, I don't want nobody for 20.
That train already left the station. You're not getting 20, and you're not healthy either. So hold on. So my thing is, would you rather prefer for the same price? I'm actually just for the same price.
Okay.
Would you prefer Parker or Amari Cooper?
Well, that's a no-brainer. I would take if I got to pay Parker $20 million or Amari Cooper $20 million, I'm paying Amari Cooper $20 million.
No. We're not even talking about $20 million. We're just talking about next season. If you had to pay one, we'll call it $14 million a year.
Then yeah. Then so I'm going Amari Cooper. Oh yeah.
All right. So we'll throw that out just for now because you said you'll stay for with everybody that you got. Like you talking about Parker and Fuller? You still move forward with them?
I think Parker and Fuller for the right price. This is why I love Chris Greer, because I think everything is budgeted in a way outside of Fuller, who got $10 million. So I expect Fuller to be easy to extend and be working with this team, because I think that's how Chris Greer and Brian Flores are doing this. I think they're going to prove to the talent that's on the team and the guys who they're not willing to pay the big bucks, but they're willing to pay bucks to keep around, to be a role guy, where Will Fuller take another $10 million contract, only guaranteed 6. And if you play this amount of games, you can get 10. And we're just going to use you as the burner over the top guy. Hey, Parker, we know you're nicked up most games. You play 7-8 games a year. We'll give you $12 million, dollars guaranteed, with you can make 16 if you play more and in the playoffs, stuff like that. I think everyone as a personality with these Dolphins that are on this team are willing to play ball, for lack of a better term. You know what I'm saying? That they're willing to not take less money, not, I guess it's just depends on the person. Like if we had a Antonio Brown on this team, he wants the ball, he wants to paid, he wants to shine. And so that's not who these guys are. Nobody's
I'm
like
glad
that.
you brought up Antonio Brown, by the way, because we just brought in Damon Arnette, first round pick in the 2020 draft. And Damon Arnette, for those who don't know, was selected by the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And I'm looking at Damon Arnette like, all right. So for those who don't know, I have Two Shades 24. Every year I do Two Shades 24, who I think are the most under the radar prospects coming out in that respective draft. And what I do is I'll take 24, college kids, and I'll be like, man, this dude is going to be nice. He could become a household name, right? When I seen Damon Arnette, and I'm watching film of, I watch film of every single position. It's wild. So I seen Damon Arnette's film. There's 3 kind of categories I put this thing in. And I seen Damon Arnette. I'm like, he ain't it. Right? I'm like,
really?
Dude ain't it. Real talk. I'm like, dude's not it. So I have a category of like people that I absolutely want on my team. Right? Like I want these guys. And then I have a category of, I wouldn't be mad if they ended up on my team. Right? Mm-hmm. And then my last category is, I'm good on him.
And he was in the non?
He was in the, I'm good on him. Right?
Really? For character issues? Because he's
no. Just playing ball, just playing football. because you really don't know about character, because all I can see on film is highlights. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
7
I didn't
minutes of
know if
highlights.
maybe you had some character
No.
issues from college.
I'm not no investigator for my health. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know why he was released from Las Vegas,
right,
right?
right. So look, so we getting there. So when he got drafted to the Raiders, I'm like, I don't know why they would do that in the first round. And then next thing you know, we go Noah Igbinoghene. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know why we would do that in the first round. You feel me? So for those who don't know, Damon Arnette was a first round pick, 2020 draft to the Raiders, and he was released over a video with a whole bunch of guns. He had a whole bunch of guns in this video. I counted like 3, could have been 4, but he had picked up a whole bunch of different guns, and he was threatening somebody over something looked like a FaceTime or Zoom, or maybe one of them Instagram lives type things. So he was threatening somebody, and this was, I kind of could have been right after the Henry Ruggs accident.
I think it was.
It was around it. It was either 3 weeks before or within 3 weeks after.
That
and
whole team in like a 4-week span spiraled in a way I've never seen a team spiral, like with the coach and everything. I've never seen something like this, man.
So they cut him, and now the Dolphins picked him up. Now I want to be clear. If it didn't have guns involved and all the other off the field stuff, and you release this dude and the Dolphins pick him up, oh, he was a first round pick. Technically, he shouldn't have been a first round pick, but cool, he was a first round pick. I don't even want to call him a first round talent because I didn't have him as a first round talent. But what does this say about Noah Igbinoghene now, right? So anyway, you bring this guy in, and everyone that listens to this podcast knows I've been trying to get Antonio Brown to the Miami Dolphins for 3 seasons. All right. And all I heard was, no, he's going to mess up the culture. He's not what we want. He doesn't have blue chip character. So now we're bringing in shooters. We got shooters.
Hey, this is Miami. You need at least one shooter close by.
I was on Twitter. I was on Twitter, and someone said we got weapons now. Like, nah, bro.
Nice.
So look, man, if we bringing in Damon Arnette to the world and Isaiah Wilson's, that we also know who Isaiah Wilson was.
Yeah, but how old is Antonio Brown? And not to say he's too old. I'm not saying that he's too old to play. I'm just saying, how old is he? He's what, 31?
He's up there, and he's over. He's probably 32. We'll give him 32.
32. I mean, this Arnette, he's got to be what, maybe 23? Maybe
24-ish.
24.
I mean, 24 at the most. 24 at the most.
I think Flo, and we've seen the Patriots pick up these hard cases and trot them out there for 3 games. They do great, then they get arrested and they get kicked off. And guess what? We got a first-round talent for 3 games, stole at least 1 victory. And we didn't have to pay him jack. You know what I'm saying? I like kicking the tires on young talent. I do agree about Noah, though. But did you hear? I hear Noah might do a little safety playing.
Hold on. All right, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. So riddle me this, hot shot. Do you know how much Antonio Brown gets paid?
I know he gets paid a little, but that's because he's with his boy Tommy Boy.
No,
and
that's not
he's
because.
Of course, that's why.
No one picked him up. He was just out there. And
why didn't anybody pick him up? Why didn't anybody pick him up?
Because
that's right.
Antonio Brown
That's right.
All right. So look. So here's my thing. Yes, I'm not saying that he's blue chip character. I'm not saying that at all. But no one would pick him up until Tom Brady said, "Hey, that's my dog. We could give him."
Because Tom Brady is gonna daddy him. That's what it comes down to.
I don't know if you're gonna daddy him, but
nobody disrespect the GOAT, bro.
You cannot tell me there's not tread on the tires on AB's tires.
No doubt. I'm not saying he's not a great talent. I'm saying that who's going to be responsible for Antonio Brown the way Tom Brady is for him in Tampa. And Tom Brady can only be as responsible as he is. There's no if Fitzpatrick was on this team as a backup and said, "I'll bring Antonio here and I'll watch him." That's what it comes down to.
I'm gonna answer your question. I'm gonna tell you who's gonna be responsible. Whoever needs to be responsible. If Antonio Brown blows it in Miami for $3 million, you can eat your losses with $3 million.
I agree.
It's not $10 million,
but it's not.
So we don't have no receivers. We don't have no receivers.
It's
and
the
AB
precedent.
was out there.
I think it's a precedent too. Young kids, and this team loves them young. They're a young coaching staff too. So I would just imagine that a 39, 41-year-old coach, because I think Flo's 41 right now, something like that, maybe 42.
I thought he was a little bit younger than that.
I thought he was 39 when we hired him, so he's like 40.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So 40, 41, and then a guy that's only 10 years younger, and I could just see as a man to man.
Yeah,
it's hard to have an authority figure when you're a young guy. If he's 24,
Chris, $3.
I know that. I agree.
Not 30.
I agree. But
no,
for
it's
$3
not
million
$10 million guaranteed. It's $3. It's
I know,
$3.
but it's all about alpha. It's a pact up there. You know what I'm saying? You got a guy like Antonio in there, and he starts alphaing around. It spreads to these other guys, and they think they got to be him, and that's not what we want. We want guys that they're bringing, and not guys that can be controlled, but guys that can be even keel. And that's kind of what they want. They don't want you getting too high or too low.
How you explain Damon Arnette then?
I agree. Damon Arnette is young, and they're going to kick the tires. And they're going to give him his shot like they should. He is still a first-round drafted. I don't think he was first-round talent either. But he has talent, and this is an organization that is willing to go long. Look at Iggy. They have taken the long route, and they're willing to show investments, and I think they're just doing it differently. I think they're handling these younger kids with, in fact, kids' gloves, and it's going to pay dividends for even guys like Van Ginkel, who, to all of us, we thought he was going to be getting the.
He didn't make the leap.
He didn't make the leap, but you know what he did? He became a daddy this year. He put on a lot of weight, and his role is different. He ain't pinning his ears back. He's kind of playing more DE, not that pseudo linebacker role he was. And that must have been something they asked him to do, and he's being a good soldier to do it. And I guarantee you, in some ways, I don't notice him being the fault in plays that another team gets. I see him missing opportunities, but I don't see him giving up big plays. So obviously it's a scheme fit in some way, and I'm sure, I don't know, I can only pretend to be a fly on the wall, but I would imagine that he's playing his role because he's still out there playing, kind of like a Zach Sealer. He comes in, Zach, he comes in 3 plays and wrecks a run, wrecks a sack, and then you don't see him. You're like, why don't we have him out there the whole time? They're very precise with this team. And I think in some ways they're willing to kick the tires on a young man that they can maybe find a niche and a role for the right price. Whereas an Antonio Brown is going to come in and say, I want my role to be this. And unless you're ready to accept that, then other guys are going to say, I want my role to be this.
Let me ask you this. Why would you not make that role whatever he wanted it to be? If your starting receivers are Mac Hollins, Isaiah Ford, and I can't even remember dude's name that he played with us one game. We got him from the Browns. I forget his name, bro. Like, it was in the KC game.
I can't remember who his name was.
That's what I'm saying. That's my point.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? So if AB did come in and say, this is what I want my role to be, like, first I would say, bro,
but
stay in your lane.
Aren't they in some way proving a point of how they're going to build this team?
No, they're not.
It's not about anyone.
There's no points to prove, bro.
It's about the Dolphins.
Isaiah Wilson too, jumping off a second floor balconies, running from the cops. You're not proving no points if you bring these people in. Hey, all I know is I need to see AB on this team next year because, all right,
it's not gonna happen.
Hold on. So back to this real quick. Devonta Parker is $8 million on the cap next year. We can move on from him and only have probably, if it's like a June post June 1st cut or move, you'd probably be like $3 million of dead cap. So you could get away with that. My thing is, do you move on from Parker, trade him, and bring in someone like a Amari Cooper, who we also know he has injury issues, or are you just happy with Devonta Parker playing 6 games a year?
Well, okay. I don't know, man. That's a really good question, honestly, because I would love to have the superior talent. And honestly, and I see your point, guys like Antonio Brown brought to Tampa, bring in superior talent, gets you to win real good games, not just beating opponents you should be and grinding them out. It's doing what the NFL needs, and that's my better wide receiver beats your less good cornerback, especially when you have guys like Amari Cooper and Antonio Brown on your team.
I'll tell you.
But I think and this is why I hope we keep Tua, and you know how I feel about all that. I want Tua, but I don't know what the team's going to do, and we'll see what happens this offseason. But they've built this team around a guy like him, where he's a facilitator of the ball. And all those Patriot years, it was great defensive players that were stars, and Tom Brady, and maybe a running back or maybe a wide receiver or Gronk. But the rest of the guys were just plug and play guys. And when one went down, the next guy came up and he just had his role. And they just chewed you up. Clock, time of possession. And that's kind of the offense they're building no matter what. And I think they'd rather draft the superstar talent and try to keep him in some kind of cap on a winning team to get favorable, because that's how you win. That's how you become an elite organization that is churning out playoff victories, playoff berths, conference victories, God willing, some Super Bowls. It's a control of the cap, man. And I know Antonio Brown's $3 million. I know he's only $3 million.
Bro. Listen, if you playing, I cannot even remember I can't remember dude's name off the top of my head. I can't. It's crazy. But look, let's get into no huddle, bro.
All right.
We got the Jets this week. Sunny Florida, 80 degrees. Dang, I should do my Celsius Fahrenheit live right now. I think all right, let's see. 30, 50, 14.
I don't know how to do it.
Hold on, I got you. Hold on one second. We got it. We're gonna get there.
How do you go from Fahrenheit to Celsius?
Hold
Is
on,
there like a cheat code?
I want to say it's like 37 degrees Celsius.
See, it sounds so weird to us. I know people across the pond.
I think it's something like that. I think it's something like that. So look, COVID running rampant out here, bro. We don't have no running backs. I'm a sneak into the stadium and I'm gonna throw on a jersey. I don't think they got no numbers available for me. So
maybe we'll see Robert Hunt running the rock.
Nah, he's gonna catch. He's gonna be tight end, bro. You didn't see that screen? You feel me? So I'm gonna see if they got agent 0 available. If I can run out there with number 0 and
nice,
do my best Miles 40 acres and a Hellcat impression. Miles Gaskin, shout out to Miles Gaskin. Get well, bro. Ahmed, Showtime Hollywood Holland. But we had fantasy football this week, Chris.
Yes, we did.
And you made the playoffs, didn't you?
I guess so. I'm playing still. So yeah, I'm in third place, but it's a tie for first. So
right. So playoffs just started this week. Congratulations, you made the playoffs. And it's so funny because our co-host Kadeem Simmons says he's done playing fantasy football. And I can't blame you, Kadeem. I'll hold down the fort moving forward for the Go Time Dolphins football, fantasy football leagues. But listen, when Kadeem don't set his lineup, bro, I'm like, hey, Kadeem. Nah, shoot Kadeem. Hey, Kadeem, man, it's money on the line. We got to be respectful and to everybody who's playing. Even if you're last, you have an effect on what goes on at the top.
You sneak a win in there.
You know what I'm saying? You got to set your lineup, right? Mm-hmm. And he might not understand it the best, but I'm like, yo, hey, can you set your lineup, right? So now I know it's the last week. And I'm like, now I know it's really, really go time. Pardon the pun.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey, Kadeem, you got to set your lineup because someone is going to be affected by you not setting your lineup. So he didn't set his running back, and it was David Johnson. David Johnson was out. I'm like, man, who is Kadeem playing? So I could see who he might mess up for the playoffs. Lo and behold, it's me. I'm like, yo, hey, Kadeem, bro. Hey, bro, like, I got to hit you up every single week, bro. Like, to tell you, set your lineup. Can you please throw in the kicker? I need you to beat Sherrod Steve. If you beat Sherrod Steve and I put up enough points, I'll make it to the playoffs. I need to just preface everything by saying I needed like 4 things to happen 4 weeks in a row.
You're still in the game on it. I went and looked at it today because I readjusted my lineup.
But it's not the playoffs. So look, I needed like 4 things to happen 4 weeks in a row. All these teams to lose, just like the Dolphins need right now, and it all happened. And Kadeem didn't set his lineup. Now look, so I text Kadeem, bro, I need you to put in the kicker. David Johnson is already out of there. Don't worry about it. But can you please put in the kicker? The kicker puts up 14 points.
Whoa.
You know what I'm saying? So what I need to happen is Kadeem beat Sherrod Steve, and I need to win, but I need to have 40 more points than Sherrod Steve. So,
to beat his tie.
To be the tiebreaker in points, season total points.
Glad Jonathan Taylor should help you out there.
So look, so dig. So Jonathan Taylor was on a bye. So I'm like, man, yeah, so it's cool. But I feel like I could do this, right? So I got Kyler Murray, you know what I'm saying? I got some big guns. Fournette, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Kadeem wins by 3 points. So he's off the hook for starting David Johnson. All I gotta do is beat Sherrod Steve, like have 40 more points than Sherrod Steve. Let's see how many points I put up. I put up 162 points.
I saw you last week go off, dude. Go off.
Listen,
go off.
I put up 162 points.
I saw
that
it.
In any week. That should do it. You know, somebody end up with 140, 120, 117, maybe 90 something.
Mm-hmm.
Sherrod Steve had Cooper Kupp and put up 138, and I missed the playoffs by 19 points, bro. Everybody who play fantasy football, I know y'all feel me right now.
You can't win them all.
I know y'all feel me, man. So it's no huddle. I am not starting no Dolphins running backs. And we have 2 fantasy football heads on the podcast right now. And it is dangerous if you start any Miami Dolphin running back, no matter if Duke Johnson comes in or if Jared Dokes gets the elevated. Like, you should not start no Dolphin running back. And I'm kind of iffy on the receivers unless his name is Waddle, right? So go with Waddle, go with Tua, go with Guseki. Guseki's due to go off again. And I try to say this last episode with Kadeem, but I don't trust Jason Sanders no more. Go ahead, Chris.
Guseki, I think this is the Guseki time to shine. He's only averaging like 50 yards game. He's only got 2 receiving touchdowns right now. So that Pro Bowl's coming. And I think, and we've seen him snatch him right out the air one-handed a couple times. I think this is the week he blows up. And I think from here on out, it's kind of going to be a little bit more of the Guseki show. Because if you watched the film, teams have been keying up on him. They've been trying to take that weapon away. So anyone who's watching film on the Dolphins the last 4 wins, they're not seeing Guseki be the guy going to. They're going to start keying in on Waddle. They're going to start keying in on first of all, who's running the ball. So they're going to have to spread it out. I think we're going to see a lot of 2 tight end sets.
I was just about to say, this is shout out to Kadeem. This is why you need multiple players in multiple positions. Now, if you got a Durham Smythe, he should be able to get, or Adam Shaheen, he should be able to get off against a lesser.
Even Chris Carter might come in. They might run the I formation if we're down to only 2. If we only come out with 2 halfbacks, you know, or 3, and one of them hasn't played any for the Dolphins, or even if they bring up Dokes, you know, it's still a young guy. We might only have Duke Johnson and Dokes.
Yeah, I would prefer to see Dokes.
I would too, but he's still a young kid. You don't want to put him in a position to lose the football game.
I get it. So here's what happened. So to end no huddle, start the Dolphins defense. Do not start the Jets defense. Only person I'm starting on the Jets is Jamison Crowder. Where's Elijah Moore at? I don't know.
Michael Carter should be making a comeback, and he did damage on us. But Raekwon's back now. Raekwon's
I don't know.
firing. Raekwon's firing now.
Start Jet players at your own risk. That's the first time I ever said that on this podcast. Man, you were just talking about something. I wanted to get back to it. Jared Dokes.
Okay,
Jared Dokes. So I believe the reason we're not playing Jared Dokes is because it's the same formula we use with Myles Gaskin. And when we drafted Myles Gaskin, I remember saying, yo, Myles Gaskin is solid. Like, this is a solid dude. And LB, I say this 100 times on this podcast, LB was like, man, we need a Philip Lindsay type of dude. How come we can't find a Philip Lindsay? I said, I ain't gonna lie, we got one. We just don't ever use them. And we never use them, right? And then shout out to Myles Gaskin. He came to this podcast and said it was the best thing to happen to his career was not to play that first season. He got to become a professional, hone in on the craft, and became a professional. And look what he did, right? Mm-hmm. So somebody got something right. So my thing is, you got Jared Dokes doing the Myles Gaskin right now, becoming a professional, watching from the sideline, understanding what's going on. But we're in the playoff race, bro. Like he knows the playbook. It's time. Like I understand you want to sit him. I understand you want him to watch for the sideline. Red
fresh
shirt,
legs,
basically.
Fresh legs.
Nah, bro. You got to throw Jared Dokes in there. I would love to see him.
That's what I'm saying. He come in with his fresh legs. He hasn't played all year. He'll be nice. He'll be fresh, especially this late in the year. If he's kind of a downhill runner from what we've seen, at least in his college tape and what we saw in the preseason. Let him come and run up the gut. Put a couple powers on there. It's late in the year. These guys might give up.
Hey, let them know where everyone can find you, bro.
Oh, can find me on YouTube at the Fins Tailgate. I'm on Twitter, Facebook. Reach out.
Hey, listen. Shout out to Chris Adams for coming through, filling in for us, man. Kadeem Simmons get better, bro. Jordan Simmons get better. Teamwork make the dream work. Y'all know what time it is. Stay positive. Test negative. For Chris Adams of the Fins Tailgate, I'm Charlie Touche. Go Time Dolphins. Thank you for tuning in this time. Make sure you catch us next time on Go Time. Already.
Dolphins with Charlie Touche and Kadeem Simmons, the Miami Dolphins podcast that's for the fans and by the fans.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. Go. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Go. Don't waste no time.
Hey, so how you feel about Noah at safety?
You know, my brother-in-law, I like being patient with a younger guy, especially Noah. He came in very young. You know, I would like to see him, but as we can see, he's got every God-given talent, but his ball skills are where he lacks. He gets caught with his back to the quarterback too often because he relies on his God-given ability to use his speed and his stuff like that. Maybe safety's where he should have gone all along. Maybe that's where it is. He played wide receiver. If he can stay above and keep the quarterback in front of him, maybe he'll be jumping routes. Could you imagine if it was Holland, Noah, and Brandon all switching up on that?
No, I can't imagine that because I don't believe in Noah at safety. But I will say this. It is the right move to make. Like, we got to see you at safety. You know what I'm saying? We blew it. We took you in the first round. That's our fault. That's not Noah's fault. You know what I'm saying? We cannot put that on Noah for being a bust. We picked him in the first round. Now, my thing is, Chris, you try him at safety, see what he could do. But I'm going to say something that I'm pretty sure no one else has ever said with Noah Igbinoghene. Maybe you need to put him back at receiver and see what he can do. Like, we're not that deep at receiver. Can we see if this man could run some routes? Like, it can't hurt nothing at this point. Hold on, Chris. He's a first-round pick. He's a bust as of right now. He's
making money, so do something.
No one feel bad for you, bro. We don't feel bad for you.
No, we don't.
He's a bust right now as we sit here. He might be a great dude. Who knows? I don't know. We're only going off your football abilities. He's not cutting it at corner. Nickel he's inside or outside. You throw him at safety, maybe. I don't know. They see him in practice, maybe. But I want to see dog at receiver. I think he got a better chance at receiver than anywhere else.
I don't know, man. They don't even bring him out for special teams, really. You know what I'm saying? It's. Listen, I don't know. He keeps his back to the quarterback, man. If he keeps his back to the quarterback as a receiver, that's an interception. It's bad. It's bad. I don't know. I'd rather see him at safety where he might not get his back turned to the ball because that's his biggest problem I could see in the NFL.
I have zero desire to see Noah Igbinoghene at safety or on defense anymore.
Really? So you just want to go back to offense?
He has Olympic speed.
He does. Why aren't we seeing it?
Now you could put him in the Will Fuller role and just go over the top. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's see what happens.
I don't deny that any production out of him would be better than the production we're getting. I just hope that let's chuck his boy out there. I mean, make him go do something. Get
Why
him to
not?
do anything.
Why
Get him to do
not?
something.
Hey,
But
y'all heard it here first.
as long as
Go
it's
ahead.
in some kind of we're up 10 points, trot him out there. Because
10 points ain't enough.
you know what I'm saying.
Ain't
So
enough.
10 points and there's only 3 or 4 minutes left or something like that in the game.
It need to be
defense has
like
been
we need to be up
16 points.
20 in the fourth with
Yeah.
8 minutes left.
Let's bring
All
him
right,
out
boy.
there for something.
Hey, look, we out of here. Go Time Dolphins. Chris, we appreciate you filling in. Y'all heard it here first. Noah Igbinoghene is going to play receiver before we let him go.
Yeah.
Be easy, man.